Let me go get a toothpick. Oh, just wanted to come on here for a few minutes. Forgot I shouldn't go live when I do eat cashews. They get stuck onto my teeth. But whoever sees this, I was gonna do a short, but I'll just do a quick live. It's not gonna take too long. I want to do a live tonight about Sinners. Sinners is worth seeing. Shot really beautifully. It's got a little bit of what was the vampire movie? Till Dusk Till Dawn. It's got a little of that in it, but shot beautifully. Gives you a feeling on how sharecroppers was and stuff. It's funny when they show them in the cotton fields, the cotton is high, and there's an old saying, you picking in tall cotton or high cotton. That's an old slave saying. That's a good day that you ain't got to bend over to pick cotton, that you get to stand up and pick cotton. But it's shot beautifully. The uniforms, the clothing is beautiful shot. It starts off again. You've seen the trailer. It's the two twin brothers, and the two twin brothers have actually left Mississippi um, 7 years before. So they leave Mississippi. They end up going into World War One and fought in World War One. And I guess they end up because they say they end up working for Capone and stuff. So they end up fighting with Capone. And so and then they mentioned that the one brother was pimping in Arkansas. So you know, they don't really get much of that story. So the brothers come home and the brothers establish that they want to buy a bar. So the brothers buy a bar from this local, just give them cash. And this is what I didn't get is like, here they do is you just don't give people money and say, I want this land. You got to get some kind of paperwork. So they overlooked that, y'all. They overlooked the paperwork. But they own the bar. So they go around, they recruit some singers, they get their cousin to play. Um, and so they set up everything. And then, the light-skinned girl who my daughter knew who she was, but they create the story for her and how she's connected. So the brothers are what is Smoke and Slim are the two brothers, Smoke and Slim. And you see early in the show where let me see, Smoke has to roll the cigarettes. So Smoke rolls the cigarettes because Slim has, from being in World War One, his hands are shaky and stuff. So you always see Smoke run the cigarettes. And maybe I'm getting them mixed up. But anyway, the light skinned woman comes in that you've seen the trailers, and she was with Smoke, I think. And then Slim was with a sister that is kind of into voodoo and stuff. And so it's funny. It's like he been gone for 7 years, but Slim ends up, I guess he had a baby with this chick, and he ends up getting back with her. It's like, he doggy styles her as soon as he comes in. So it was kind of odd. One interesting thing, the way they show the vampires and they introduce the vampires is this European cat is like you can see his skin is all burned up and stuff. So they done chased him in the daytime. And he tells these poor Europeans that, these Indians is chasing me. And then the Europeans is like, what Indians? Ain't no Indians here in Mississippi. So anyway, they take him in. The Indians do end up showing up, and they're like, "Look, I hope you didn't let him in your house because one thing, if you saw the trailer, is the only way the vampire can come in your house is if you invite him in." And so they let him in, and then after the Indians leave, the wife goes in, and the dude done bit the husband, and he bites her, of course. So Slim and Smoke end up setting everything up where they go. They're having a bar. So what's funny is Slim pays this little girl to sit in his truck so nobody steals the stuff. He said, if somebody comes, starts beep the horn, let me know, if anybody comes and messes with the truck and stares too long. So he's in there, and this is where they introduce some Japanese people, maybe Chinese people. I would say more Chinese. They introduced them. He knows them. They're going to help cook and provide all the fish and everything. And these brothers, it's depression times. It's 1932, but they got bread. So they're recruiting everything they need for their party. And anyway, he's in the store. He hears this beep, 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 beep. So he runs out to look at his truck. She's like, they stealing, they stealing. He runs to the truck and he sees the dude in the back of his truck and he just shoots him in the leg with a 911. And so dude's like, man, I didn't know that was your truck. She said, I told him it was your truck. So he's like, man, I ain't got no money to, do anything. So then there was another dude behind him. And if you ever heard that police joke where the police, how's it go? It's a joke about a police where a dude, what was it? A dude, so a cop stops a guy and then he doesn't write him a ticket, but then the cops blast him a couple times, and the dude's like, why did you hit me? And he's like, so you couldn't say later that I wish he would have hit me, so you got your wish. So it was like he shoots the one dude, and the dude was helped. He ends up shooting him. He's like, what you shoot me for? I done ran away. He's like, so you couldn't say that you got over on the twins. And it's really a great dynamic between the twins. The twins have a very, very good dynamic between them. You can just see, like I said, the one dude's hand is shaky, so the brother rolls the cigarettes. And so they really almost act like one mind. So that part is really interesting. I would almost say he might be up for an Oscar for that. I don't know. A lot of times black movies, they don't give it. So anyway, the story continues. They end up getting their bar. They set it all. So they buy an old sawmill, I think they said. So they set the sawmill. They recruit all the talent and stuff. Their cousin is the guitar player. He plays the blues. But let me tell you, the best part of the movie, which was really deep in their part. And I know I'm kind of skipping over. So they set up the club. Everybody comes. So the brother, so they also recruit the dude who played in Malcolm X. He played what did he play in Malcolm? Del Rey, I think is his name. Anyway, he plays the piano and he blows the harmonica. But anyway, they got their cousin to start playing the guitar, and the cousin starts playing the guitar. Now it was kind of a theme of the whole movie where they were saying that how music brings the evilness out, because that's kind of how the movie starts, but also how music can connect other cultures and stuff. And so he starts playing this blues guitar, and all of a sudden, as he plays, you see somebody kind of dressed like Bootsy Collins, and you see how the past and the future is combined. And like the music from the past, the future, the dancing. Now, if you ever saw that African dude that does the footwork, he's got the mask on, he's in Africa, and he's moving his feet real fast. They throw him in there. As I mentioned, there was some Chinese people in there. They throw some Chinese people. Really deep scene. I mean, a really deep, deep scene where they end up, they show the house burning down, but it is so deep. I mean, this scene with all the culture, all the dancing, the musicians, kind of the past and the future together was that was a hell of a scene. No doubt that was a hell of a scene. And that was by far the best scene of the movie. So, of course, for some reason, the vampires go to the black place. Now, we don't know how the vampires knew these. Maybe the vampires just started walking around. I don't know. The vampires have to be invited in. So the vampires come, and the head vampire must have been an old Irish dude. So all of them is singing an Irish song and stuff and going back. And they're like, no, we don't want, nothing to do with y'all. Y'all just go on your own way. So they said, well, we gonna go on our way, but we gonna go slowly. So, so the cousin, he ends up getting some with the singer. Um, and finally, the light-skinned chick, they let her in. Her mother just died and everything. So for some reason, the light-skinned chick who's passing white married a white dude, but she done went off to the party. She has to go see what the vampires want. She's like, hey, I'm trying to make y'all some money. It didn't make sense. Honestly, for her to go out there and follow these white folks around, this didn't make sense. So anyway, she follows them around, and of course we know what happens. She thinks she's getting away from the vampire. The vampire bites the shit out of her. So she goes back in, and the dude named Cornbread who was working the door let the Delray dude work the door, and he tells her again they have to be invited in. He's like he didn't think about it. He told her to come in. She has she has sex with Smoke and then bites Smoke, you know. And then, they break in and see her biting the shit out of Smoke and they start shooting her down and shit, but she's a vampire, so she survives. And so it becomes like a Dusk Till Dawn. So um the Chinese woman, her husband goes against the car, and the Chinese woman's missing her husband. So the husband, of course, so it's like they let everybody out the party before they figure out what's going on. And the Chinese dude says he gets the car. So the Chinese woman kind of gets she gets frustrated, and she's gonna make Molotov cocktails and go get the vampire. She's like, "Fuck it, they can all come in." That gave them the end for them to finally attack the place. So it's an all-out brawl between them and the vampires and shit. They killing the vampires. The vampires is killing some of them. There's only a few left. And so finally, the thing that saves them is it becomes daylight, and then they end up staking the master vampire. They end up putting a stake through his back, and all the vampires you think are dead. So all the vampires died and stuff. So the beginning of the movie, the young cousin goes into church. His guitar is broken, and that's how it starts. So anyway, um, let me see what. Okay, so all the vampires you think are dead. Uh, Slim is just left, and Slim and the cousin, before the cousin leaves, helps him get this because they talked earlier about this box. They bring the box down, and inside the box is a BAR and a Thompson. A Thompson with the drums. Again, they've been in Chicago. So he tells the cousin to go back home. He stays, and they find out that the dude that sold him the mill, their plan was at the end of the party, they was just gonna go and kill everybody anyway. The clan was going to kill everybody. So dude is sitting in the woods with this BAR, and the clan pulls up and he starts sniping the clan. It's about 25 or 30 clan members. He starts sniping the shit out of them. I mean, he's got this BAR and he's just shooting them. A BAR, what that Browning shoots, what is that? 30 cal bullets? I mean, them big ass bullets. He starts shooting the shit out of them. So he's shooting them and killing the clan. And the BAR runs out because I think the BAR only shoots 20. Then he pulls that Thompson out and he starts doing work on the clan. I mean, he puts in work on the clan. It's probably one of the most revenge killings of the clan in any movie I've ever seen. Even more than the Klansman or the old Klansman. But not the one with Denzel's son, but it's an old one called the Klansman. But anyway, he putting work in on them and he kills all 30 of them. So he gets shot, and it looks like a through and through, but he ends up dying. So it skips to the future. Now, one thing that the cousin had, he had like 3 scratch marks on his face. You see the cousin playing with Catfish. Catfish is in the very end of the movie. So they give you an extended scene where he's playing, the cousin is playing, he's a popular bluesman, and out of nowhere, Smoke, who it looked like all the vampires died, but maybe Smoke was inside the club when all the other. So he lives. Smoke lives, and Smoke visited him with a high top fade, and told him that he always loved him or whatever. So the one vampire did live, and so that's kind of how it ends. So if you go see it, stay to see the extended scene. It gives you an extended scene. So beautifully shot movie. A good screenplay, a little bit like I mentioned from Dusk Till Dawn, but that scene where they play the music, I mean, that's one of the best scenes for our people that I mean has been shot for a long time. I mean, that scene, my Kundalini just kept going off because you see the past, the future of our music and what our music evolved into, and not just the music, the dance. Because they kind of show break dancers too, but they show that African doing the footwork, which is really interesting. So the movie was really, I give it a 9 out of 10. The Dusk Till Dawn maybe knocks it down to an 8, but pretty good overall. Jamal, what's happening? To Wanted, what's happening? Let me see if I can get this. Little Timmy, what's happening? Toe, what's happening? Oh, why am I live? Oh, okay. What's wrong with that? No, man, I'm 63. So I'm 63. So that's why I'm live. I'm 63. So that's why I'm live. Yeah, it's a vampire movie. How my life went. Hey Spencer, what's happening? Yeah, that's the new movie Sinners. It's worth seeing. Yeah, Jack, he said 9 out of 10. Yeah, that's what I'd say 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10 because it's Dust Till Dawn a little bit, but positively, positivity is a good movie. It's a good positive movie. I'll say that. And him playing the double role was really really good. I mean, the brothers are so in tune with each other, and they're like kind of opposites in the same way. So it's a good movie. It's worth seeing. Shot very well. The screenplay is good. Again, my only knock is Dust Till Dawn. That's my only knock. But action wise, I mean, the story, it holds you. The story holds you and keeps you suspense. So yeah. So that's all I had. It's just my breakdown of Sinners. Again, if you see it, stay after the credits. Stay because the extra scene is after is what gold. Oh, good. Okay. Yep. So yeah, it's a pretty good movie. Overall, it's a pretty good movie. I would recommend it. So just my breakdown of Sinners. Thank you. That's all I have. Till we meet again.